let me first say, you've only been in Washington for a few weeks. Did you expect to walk into work today and this to happen?
No, I did not, but I will tell you the rhetoric that I've been hearing over the last couple of days did have me worried. I had my children up here this weekend, and my mom instinct was seeing some of the rhetoric online on social media. I actually put my kids on the first flight home on Monday. I had intended to have them up here all week, but when I saw things, kind of the way things were going and the rhetoric, as a mom, I just said, this doesn't feel right, and I want to make sure my kids are going to be safe. I texted them about 2 hours ago to let them know that I was safe, and I'm just so glad that instinct kicked in, and my family is not up here today. It's a very sad day for our nation's history. I'm devastated, and I'm angry.
I can imagine. Now, I just saw your tweet after hearing from President-elect Joe Biden. You're now calling on President Trump to do something. Can you kind of elaborate on that for me?
He needs to get off Twitter and needs to get on TV to the American people. He needs to calm them down. Republicans are the party of law and order, or we should be. This is not a protest. This is anarchy. I saw earlier, because I've got the news going on behind me, we're on lockdown in my office. My team, everyone is safe right now. But that there were gunshots fired on the Capitol. A woman was being treated for gunshot wounds. This is un-American. And it's a very sad day in our nation's history. Millions of people were misled. And one of the reasons why this is happening is because emotions are high, expectations are high, and the results are very, very low because millions of Americans were misled on the election. They were told that Congress had the power and authority to overturn the results of the presidential election vis-a-vis the Electoral College. Millions of Americans were told that single-handedly, the Vice President of the United States, who confirmed today he couldn't do it, could overrule the election. We're not authoritarian. We're not a dictatorship. We are a republic. We have 3 branches of government, and Congress is not the judiciary branch. Congress is not the executive branch, and Congress isn't the state legislature. Our Constitution was built on the foundation of federalism, and states have the sole authority, power, and rights over their elections. We had 50 states certified their elections, and they sent us 50 slates of electors. Today's vote was purely ceremonial. And so I'm also begging my colleagues in the Republican Party to think long and hard about when we do reconvene our session and we vote on the objection, the first objection is to Arizona, that we think long and hard about what we're doing to our nation today. It is unconstitutional, and the rhetoric has reaped violence. They are reaping what they have sowed, and we need to rebuild our nation. We need to investigate voter fraud. We need to do everything we can that Congress has the power to do, but it cannot be done in an hour-long or 2-hour-long debate on the floor of the U.S. House. You're not going to adjudicate or investigate voter fraud in an hour. It's not going to happen, and you're not able to do it.
If you could say one thing to the people who are causing the unrest right now, what would that be?
I'm asking them to put their fists down, to calm down, take a deep breath, go home, follow the law, stop assaulting our law enforcement and our police. We need to take a deep breath and be peaceful. And we can get much more accomplished when we peacefully demonstrate than when we use violence, because we're watering down our opportunity and ability to do the work necessary to investigate and get to the bottom of the voter fraud. I was a huge supporter of President Trump. I was one of his first hires on his campaign in the fall of 2015. I flew all across the country trying to advocate, campaign for him in 7 different states. I believed in him. And the accomplishments that we've had over the last 4 years today have been entirely and completely erased for the hardworking American people. That voice is gone. And I hope that he'll get off Twitter, get on TV, and calm these folks down, ask them to follow the law, and go home.
And finally, how would you say this differs from the rioting that we saw over the summer? I remember I talked to you a few months ago that you were there after everything happened. You got your tool belt. How would you compare these 2 situations?
Well, I mean, violence is violence. 2 wrongs do not make a right here. We can't combat the violence on the left with violence on the right. We don't win. It is a lose-lose situation for everyone. I'm disappointed in my colleagues who have put rhetoric out there that encourage this kind of behavior, the violence that we're seeing today. This isn't protesting, this is anarchy, and it's un-American.
Last thing, do you think what is happening today represents the Republican Party?
It does not. There are a number of my colleagues who I've spoken to. Woo! We even have animals here. The whole staff, the entire office, everybody is here right now because we're in lockdown. This is not representative of the Republican Party. I am in talks with a number of my colleagues who are very distressed, who've been upset over the entire objection process, who have been upset over how Americans have been misled on the vote that is happening today. And I imagine that some of those voices who've been quiet and tried to be respectful of our colleagues who have different opinions are now going to be much more vocal, like I'm doing today. I'm heartbroken, I'm saddened, and I'm pissed off. This is wrong.
Well, I appreciate you so much for talking to me. I hope you guys stay safe. Again, thank you so much.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Thanks for covering it.
I'll talk to you soon.